Hi, my name is Lana Geich, and I'm here with the Global Network of Healers. Today we have Marianne Brown with us. She's the owner and CEO of A Natural Side of Wellness, and she's also a Pilates instructor as well as a certified access bar facilitator. And she is all the way in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the USA. Welcome, Mary Ann. How are you?
I'm great. Well, thank you very much, Lana, for having me on this. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I just want to tell them a little bit more about you, Marianne. So Marianne has more than 30 years of experience as a healthcare professional, and she loves to empower people. That's her passion, really. She knows firsthand the impact of physical and emotional trauma and what it can do to our life and well-being. And so she's devoted her life to specializing in treating pain and trauma and working with people to improve their physical and emotional well-being. And so you are a sister in that regard. I love it. It's such a treat to interview you. So I'd love to kind of hear from your, we do work differently when it comes to trauma. So can you tell me a little bit more about alignment and the body and what that has to do with pain and trauma?
Sure. As the song has said, the toe bone is connected to the foot bone is connected to the ankle bone is connected to the knee bone, and on and on and on and on up to the top of the head.
Yeah.
So whenever a person walks with their feet turned out, their legs, their hip bones have to adjust within the hip socket. And so then the body has to keep readjusting and adjusting and adjusting all the way up to the top of the head. So then the spine gets all twisted and pulled. One muscle gets shortened, one muscle gets longer, and the imbalances create the sensation of pain in our body. So I had a client who said that she had left foot pain and said that it was happening for a couple months. And she went to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor adjusted her ankle and everything, and she was still having this pain intermittently. So I'm like, okay, well, let's check this out. So I had her lay down on the floor. I had her put her feet up on the wall, up on a wall, and she laid down without the gravity for our body, so that her body was relaxed into the floor. And so we put her spine in alignment. Everything was in alignment and everything. And her pain went away in her left foot. So then she moved, and the pain came back. And we noticed that her right shoulder was hyped. So the body works in cross patterns.
Yeah.
And so when we readjusted her shoulder again, then the left foot pain went away. And she had this huge awareness of, oh my gosh, every time I have this pain, oh, my right shoulder's high. So she really had to pay attention to her body and readjust and have the pain go away.
Amazing. Holy cow. What a light bulb moment, though, to have something that's so far away and opposite side of your body connected. The two are connected. Nobody would even think about that, right? Because most of us don't have experience like you and a very thorough knowledge of the body and where stuff goes and how. So, wow. That's really cool, actually. I mean, I do work a little bit with the physical body with the trauma, but this just blows my mind. And who would have thought that just laying there and putting a body in a relaxed state could actually reset the body and the pain, and that the body would naturally do it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really cool. And then you see go back to the old pattern, right? Because that's kind of what it learned to sort of contort in a way that hurts. And so there's a chance to reset again. So it's good to know, actually, for this simple purpose. People sometimes expect the pain to be immediately gone, and sometimes that's the case. But at other times it's a pain reduction, and that happens over time. And so don't get discouraged, right? It can absolutely go. Just stay with it. Continue to pay attention to the pain.
Exactly. It's just like, the body is at a vertical pattern, not in a horizontal pattern. Yeah. And so one hip can be higher with the hip lower, and that's where you get the leg length discrepancies. That's where you get the one pant leg shorter than the other, or the sleeve of your shirt, one is longer than the other. And it all has to do with the alignment of your body.
Yeah. Wow. So what exactly then does tension in the body then have to, because you said kind of one side goes tense, the other will do the opposite. So what does tension in the body have to do with the pain that gets created there?
Well, so whenever we have tension in the body, and tension in the muscles become tight. And then the blood flow becomes restricted. Then the muscles become oxygen deprived. Mm-hmm. And so then the muscles require the blood flow and the oxygen to contract and relax, right? So then the body becomes stiff and movement becomes really, really difficult. Mm-hmm. And then the person just wants to sit around because they're painful and it's hard to move.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I never knew that. So that's very, very, very good information for me. I mean, I kind of figured, and it makes sense now that you're saying it, but I never thought about that before. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm actually now curious when it comes to sort of, how some people don't exercise like ever, and it's been years. I'm wondering what happens, if you can speak a little bit about that, with the not moving, do you get that same effect when you don't move and when your muscles tight? And yeah, you do. Hey.
Yeah. But then, the muscles actually start to calcify. There's ions that help the muscles to move.
Yeah.
There's sodium and calcium ions, and those crystals then get stuck in the muscles.
Wow. And then that causes pain.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go, guys and girls.
Yeah.
If you have pain, it could be very much from not doing anything.
But, luckily, the body restores itself.
Yes.
And you can teach the body, the muscles are always muscles, and the muscles always have that job to do.
Yeah.
And so I don't care how long you've been sitting on the couch. I don't care how long you've had this pain.
Yeah.
The body can change.
You can reverse it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because why sit there in pain when you can do something about it? And if just moving was the thing to do, because you're right, it's almost like shedding dust off the shelf. It's like, there it is. There are those books. Yeah. Love that. Okay. Sorry, that was a side one. I kind of went off on a tangent because I have more questions to ask you, but I was very curious about that. So thank you for answering that. And so when it comes to alignment then of your body, what does that have to do with emotional well-being?
Oh, well, imagine the tight muscle in your neck. What does that feel like in your brain, right? The muscles of the scalp get really, really tight, and the thoughts in the brain then begin to shut down and get confused. When the body and the spine are all twisted, it's being pulled and in all different directions, and the natural flow of the body just gets distorted and twisted, and then the mind gets all jumbled and confused, and it starts shutting down.
Mm-hmm. Well, I could see the mind kind of going, oh my goodness, what is happening? Oh my God, alert, alert, like just throw off the sirens. This is bad. What is it? Panic, right? People just kind of, oh my God, am I going to live with this pain? So then you're catastrophizing, having all these negative thoughts.
Oh, yes.
Maybe you shut down after a while. People talk about that, right? So there's the connection. You definitely see that, hey? When the body is not doing well, it will impact the mind. And of course, we do know when it comes to pain, it's definitely a very strong mind-body connection.
Yeah.
Pain. Yeah. I love talking about phantom limb pain. Do you know much about that? Because
I do.
Maybe tell the story. I love that stuff because that's like total mind-body connection.
Whenever you have a amputation and stuff, the body, whenever you have a leg or an arm or hand amputated, the mind remembers that part of the body. Mm-hmm. It has an imprint of it in the brain.
Yeah.
And
when it's no longer there,
you
can still feel pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're talking, obviously amputations occur when traumatic something has happened to your body, right? So now
Right,
that it's no
exactly.
longer there, how crazy is it that we can still feel pain there?
I know.
Wow. And then
That's,
the reset.
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, that's how big the mind and the body is connected.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the reset for it is putting the limb into something that gives the impression that you do have the full arm. So with the mirrors and whatnot, gives it the illusion that the full arm or foot or whatever is there. And that's what helps reset the system. So funny enough, your reset is exactly like that, just laying down, don't let gravity push down on you. And there is your reset. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. Wow. So now we're talking about trauma. So what does trauma and the memory of the trauma have to do with the mind-body connection? Tell me more about that.
Well, I had a client that came in for right-sided back pain. And, as he was talking about this pain, he's like, oh yeah, I fell down the steps 5 years ago. And so when we have this trauma and the body remembers it, so when we have a new pain or a new sensation of tenseness in our body, then the brain automatically goes back to that trauma, that sensation, and links it and imprints it into the body. And so then it just does this vicious cycle over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I met my boyfriend 2.5 years ago, and he's a bodybuilder, and he was bench pressing or deadlifting 400 pounds, and his disc blew, and he had to have surgery immediately. And so I met him 4 months afterwards, and he was in a lot of pain still. And today he's pain-free. He's, re-strengthened his body, and we've worked on getting his alignment better and everything. However, whenever he wants to progress to lifting this higher weight again, his brain says, oh no, that was pain. I had this trauma. And so he can't get past lifting a higher weight because it just keeps going back to that trauma.
Yeah.
And so now we're working on, better alignment and saying to his body, no, you're safe. You can, work with this. You're strong now.
Yeah.
And you're in better alignment.
So the brain goes, uh-oh, remembers the previous trauma, sends stress hormones and signals to the body, brace yourself, alert, alert. Yes. And then it's the tension then that can cause the pain, like you said, and then now you're in a kind of a trauma state at this point, remembering, body's remembering, mind's remembering. And so you're trying to change that, reset that again. That's cool. Awesome.
And then that bracing causes more traumas and more things to happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That another muscle is tight.
Yeah.
And that's how instant injuries happen.
Yeah.
Is from the misalignment and the bracing.
Yeah.
Of the tightness.
Yeah.
And then you move, and then the muscle says, oh, I can't do that because I'm too tight.
Yeah. Interesting, hey? It's, very, so beautiful. Mind-body connection. We've all experienced that, I think.
Yeah.
As hopefully the ones, people that are aware of that there is that connection that impacts them and how whether they brace for something, if they've had, for instance, I have got a good one for me. I used to be very nervous talking in front of people. And so I would get a dry throat. I would get very nervous, hot. I would get flushed in the face. My mind would be racing and I would be going, oh my God, no, you can't do this. This is going to be terrible. And it was just until I processed it, right? I mean, look at me. Here I am interviewing people and getting on camera, and anyone can look at this and, it's done. We're done. I no longer have that embodied anymore in my brain or imprinted in my body. And it's free, right? But you have to first be aware that that's what's happening, that there is that connection. So yeah, very cool. Thank you for talking about that. And then I just have one last question, because we've talked so much about alignment now and tension and pain and trauma and what it does to the mind, body, and emotions. what can people do? So people that are experiencing maybe chronic pain or just muscle tension, because now we're going to be feeling a little more stressed, being segregated and stuck at home, and our routines are all over the place. What can people do now to help align themselves and feel better that way?
Well, so what I tell my clients to do is go out and buy a full-length mirror and to stand in front of it without any clothes on. And then that way they can actually see where their body's at and what the imbalances in the body, if one hip is higher or lower or whatever. Or whenever you're brushing your teeth, you can notice your neck, you can notice your jaw, you know, is one side being pulled, you know, do you always like go to one side and stuff? And you can definitely see that in your shoulder muscles and your neck muscles.
Yeah.
So then you can readjust and have that go away.
Yes, reset. Okay, that's a good tip.
The other thing is that you can imagine the pain or the trauma in your body or the tense muscle, and you can inhale and fill up your lungs, and then you can exhale. You can inhale and fill up your lungs, and then you can exhale. And then you can inhale, and you can take that breath into that pain or that tension and expand that tension, expand that pain until it becomes translucent. And then you can take your breath and you can exhale that pain out of your body or that trauma or that tension. You might have to do this over and over and over again until your body can actually become relaxed, because sometimes, you know, it's imprinted a little bit deeper. However, just breathing it out and focusing on it leaving your body is a really great technique.
Love it. And like you said, it doesn't mean it's going to go to zero, but we are succeeding if we can reduce it even a little bit, and then just seeing how much you can reduce it by just continuing to breathe. If it levels out, then you know that's as far as it's going to go. And you can even rate it out of 10. 10 is very painful, 0 is neutral. Before you start, after you breathe, see where it's at. It might surprise you. I think that's phenomenal. Love it. So thank you so much, Marianne. This has been lovely, just talking to a fellow clinician, practitioner who is doing it a little differently than me, but giving lovely tips for those people that are suffering from pain and are stuck, and life is more stressful now. There's less mobility perhaps that people have even in the movement, and you know, we're all trying to still move around our house, but it is what it is. And so thank you so much for the tips. Very much appreciated.
Well, thank you very much for having me on here. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
You make it so easy to be interviewed too.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. And one more thing, just for the viewers, Marianne has developed a starter kit to help people that are experiencing pain. And so we will make sure that you have that connection to her if you need to download that. We'll make it all available in this post. So have a look at that. And thank you so much again for making this lovely kit available to all of us.
Well, thank you very much.